Hello and welcome. My name is Andy Salkeld, and this is a bit of a channel update. Since quite a few people have started subscribing to the channel and watching some of the stuff I've put out on my Sisters of Battle army and UKTC terrain and strategy and tactics and so on. And since then, I kind of went quiet on here, so I wanted to give a bit of an update as to what's kind of happening, where I'm going with everything, and what's going on, to just kind of let people know what they can expect, how often, things like that. Just thought it was kind of polite to do that and so on. Firstly, I was going to be going to a GT this past weekend, a Warhammer World. Unfortunately, there was a bereavement in my family and I was attending a funeral, and I just didn't think I would have the headspace to compete in a tournament during like in preparation for a funeral on the Monday. And so I just backed out of that, which was bad, but at the same point I think it was necessary, because I wouldn't have done myself, my army justice, and I probably wouldn't have been that nice to play against either, because it was quite emotional and everything like that. And I was going to do another series of preparing for a GT, because it was going to be on a different terrain pack. It was going to be on the Warhammer World terrain pack and mission pack, which is different from UKTC. And basically, we lost my grandma, and at that point I kind of just lost all motivation for doing videos and things like that. And now that that's kind of out the way, I just wanted to put my thoughts together as to what I want to do with this channel, with everything like that, because I want to keep making videos, I want to keep supporting the communities I'm a part of and so on, and I just wanted to share that with people. But in the diary, we do have 2 more GTs that I'm going to attend to. So I'm going to go to my local GT at Leodis in Leeds, Farsley, just outside Leeds. And this is going to be in January. So that's kind of mid-January. I'm expecting the data slate, new missions, and points adjustments to either just be legal or just not be legal, because it's on the 21st of January. And what that means is either I'm going to have a huge amount of stuff to prepare, or I'm going to have nothing to prepare because I'm going to be playing exactly the same army I've been playing for the past 9 months. So we're going to see how that comes about. When the new missions do come about, I will go through them all, with a faction focus of Sisters of Battle, and what my thoughts are about them. When the new UKTC mission and terrain pack comes out, which typically comes out after the missions update, I will then be looking at kind of covering that, what my thoughts are about the terrain, and probably with any adjustments that are made to the armies, etc. And then I'll be kind of doing a full refresh of my thoughts on missions, maps, terrain, etc. with all the new data. Because we're still in this, it's been the same faction for at least since Nephilim dropped. I can't remember which one we're in. I think we're in Nephilim now. Since it's kind of been the same, most of Sisters has been solved. So I'm not really looking to kind of change things up too much. And then as well as that, I am going to be taking the Spooky Sisters to Warhammer Fest. So this is sometime next April or May, I believe. And I thought I wasn't certain whether I'd enjoy it, but there's a GT there, and I figured it'd be a great chance to take the army out and kind of show it off in a bigger context, in an actual Warhammer environment and things like that. So I'm going to be I'm still debating as to whether I take a kind of my tuned Bloody Rose combat list, or whether I take something to just show off some of the cool work I've done. I really want to take the Triumph of St. Catherine to this, but I want to kind of see how I feel about it in from a travelling perspective, because transporting my Treason/Triumph is challenging, shall we say. So I need to figure out that, but I will be at Warhammer Fest, and that's going to be quite exciting. So that's two big events that I have in the calendar that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm going to look to go to more RTTs and more GTs over the next year or so, and I want to kind of keep doing tournament reports and recaps as to how it goes. I'm debating as to whether I focus on just taking sisters or whether I do some work with other armies. Because as a hobbyist, I am wanting to challenge myself and to kind of learn more ways to play the game. So recently, and I'm still finishing off, I have been working on a Tau army, and I'm looking forward to kind of exploring what it's like to play Tau. I'm also looking at doing a Chaos Space Marines army, just because I've been wanting to... I basically want to give my friends options, because for 2 years they've played solidly against sisters, and I think it's time that they have another option. So I want to give them kind of a Marine equivalent, a fast shooting army, and then sisters. And that kind of gives the options of what they can play against. But I think I want to maintain sisters as my taking to large events to try and kind of score and raise up the ITC and world rankings and everything like that. I don't know where the rankings are really, but that's my thoughts on that. So expect more content kind of in January onwards, when we have more new things to talk about with regards to the army and the game. I'm excited for how things change. After kind of 12 months of missions, I'm always excited for the new ones. So fingers crossed we get them in good time, and that then can start doing the prep and planning that I've always done for the game. Then we come on to a couple of other things. So I'd like to start kind of doing other bits of content about the other factions. And I've been thinking about live streaming some of my games, or at least to begin with, say, pre-recording me playing sisters against a friend, and just kind of setting it up in similar to what you see here, just setting it up on the table behind, with us kind of narrating, talking through our plans, me talking through sisters. I may try and get some of the proper overhead cameras and proper recording cameras so I can do it kind of justice. And that might just turn into like you might see some live streams or some longer recordings where I'm talking through what it's like playing sisters and so on, to kind of give an idea of what I'm doing during deployment, why I'm doing the things I'm doing, what I'm thinking about as the turns clock on. But there is a cost investment of buying the cameras, buying the rigs and so on. So I'm just wanting to kind of wait for an appropriate time to spend that money to then start recording that sort of content. I've also been interested in doing kind of conversations and opportunities like that. So whether that's doing it in the form of a podcast, or just kind of having various chats with friends recorded, because we talk about Warhammer and the game, we talk about our factions, we talk about what we love, and I just figured it might be a good opportunity to start putting more conversations out there. I always talk about having a kind of a chat amongst all the kind of the big names from the church, as in the Tabletop Titan Sisters community, as that's where my home is, sort of thing. But at the same point, it'd just be nice to get on and talk sisters with people, what people are thinking, feeling, experiencing about the army, but also about different aspects of the game. Because as much as I am what I would say is a faction specialist, I'm also trying to branch out and do more things. So you may see my thoughts on playing, say, Tau or CSM on some of these missions, how I would deploy, things like that. So again, once I've got more reps with those armies, I'll feel more confident putting that out. And that's kind of where I am with the Warhammer side of things. But ultimately, this channel is kind of just me and my life. It's now got its own kind of name, the at Andy Salkeld, which is great. Thank you for enabling that, subscribers, etc. And I play a lot of games. I play a lot of online. I do various strategy things, MMOs, everything like that. And I've been thinking about whether I get back into streaming. I used to stream on Twitch, and given there's kind of an audience here that is interested in what I produce and what I say, etc., I want to give an opportunity for people to talk to me and to also kind of just chat. One of the things I've always believed in is by creating communities, you can destigmatize what's involved with them and help build confidence in people that might be anxious about things. I live with anxiety and I want people to feel confident or feel better about doing things they are uncertain with. So whether that's someone who might be uncertain that wants to come and talk to me about sisters or mission packs or secondary choices, or whether it's just they want somewhere to hang out. I've always believed that if you create those things, people will enjoy them and want to be a part of them. And it's something I have missed. And I've just been thinking that's something I can do. Now, admittedly, very few people will probably come along and turn up, and it might just be me speaking into a vacuum whilst I'm playing the new Dragonfly expansion or something like that. But I want to at least create the opportunities for those people to come along and to be able to talk about them, or talk about what's going on in their lives and be able to share things, etc., etc. So you may see some non Warhammer 40k content appearing here. There already is some. There's already my kind of my LSDJ music that I was messing around with at one point. There's my various Breaking the Stigma talks and my PhD diary, and I just wanted to kind of put this out there so that people aren't shocked or offended when they see non-40k content arrive, because ultimately, if I don't want to do wrong by the people that are interested in what I do, and so on. So yeah, that's just kind of a bit of an update. I don't have a huge amount to say about kind of Sisters, the faction that I'm working on right now. I just wanted to share what's been going on the past couple of weeks. One of the things that I'm kind of certain that I will start doing is just doing a bit of a hobby diary, to just accountability for myself, to say each week, what have I been working on? What have I done? What have I worked towards? Now, admittedly, this will fall off a cliff when it comes to the launch of Dragonflight, because I probably won't be hobbying and will be doing other things, but I want to at least be accountable. So maybe during that time, I'm focusing on 3D printing bits, but not necessarily doing the not necessarily hard doing hobby work of building, painting, etc. But I've always liked doing those sorts of accountability things, and this just seems like another opportunity to do it. But anyway, that's just a bit of a channel update as to where I am in my life. I'm sorry I wasn't able to put anything out sooner, but life just got in the way, and it's one of the things that we just have to accept about life and everything like that. So thank you very much for tuning in. and I look forward to seeing you in a week, 2 weeks, whenever I put up the next video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you then.